Dads Network. Only Dads Network. Pull up a chair and give us a listen. Dads helping dads. Only Dads Network.
Here with the Only Dads Network, onlydadsnetwork.ca. And so welcome.
Thank you.
So we're all fathers of all different walks of life.
Yeah.
I put one of my two to bed already. Devin's up north with a bunch of sunshine, so he's got.
We have 3 kids.
Oh, jeez.
One's at basketball practice right now. The other 2 are just upstairs, so it's quiet. But I was just getting them settled before we started. Yeah. So.
Oh man, how busy
girls,
are you?
And girls too, right? So
all girls, 3 girls. Yeah.
You have all girls.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Busy household for sure.
Yeah. My wife wants 3. I'm negotiating 2.
There you go.
We'll see how it goes.
Well, that's something we're going to talk about in probably a future podcast. What's the best number, right?
The right number. Yeah, we talked about that before.
He's already stepping ahead to. Well, we're going to have you back then with your wife, and we'll have a
listen how I lost that negotiation. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll all vote. We'll all vote, right? So
Yeah.
So
no, go on, Beezer.
No, you first.
I was going to say, what part of how up north are you, Devin?
So right now I live in Nunavut, Northwest Territory. So I'm right in the Arctic Circle.
Oh, you're up north.
Yeah, it's pretty north.
Yeah. It's legit. It's legit.
Like, I live north of Edmonton. I'm north. I'm like, yeah, that's north, but I know
you're basically next to Santa.
Pretty much. It's good for Christmas. Yeah.
He hand delivers his Santa list.
Yeah. Santa's either gets his first or he comes last.
Yeah.
But we're excited to talk to you, Jason, about finances, real estate, pretty much anything you want to talk about. The website's really just about helping people, right? And so definitely finances and like buying your first home or like, just getting into all that would be really helpful. But why don't you tell us a little bit about your background first, and then we'll kind of get into that.
Background is long story short, tried to be a professional soccer player, blew out my knee when I was 17.
Oh wow.
So that ended that. Floundered around for a few years, got into serving, was a server downtown Halifax. I did attend Dalhousie for 2 months to play soccer, and I dropped out with all W's. So, one and done. I was serving I was being a server bartender downtown, and I served a realtor who left a card on my table and just said, "You'd be really good at this." And I had nothing else going on. I had the money saved. So the next day I actually took the course to be a real estate agent. And in 6 months, got my license, floundered my first 18 months, didn't know my face from my butt, to put it lightly, and how sales worked or how real estate worked, any of that stuff. Was lucky enough to get a coach mentor, who became a really good friend, taught me a lot about the industry, how it worked, how to make sales, how to help people, how to navigate it. And then from there, my wife has been renovating houses with her parents for years. So then, of course, we had to buy a shithole fixer-upper, which we gutted ourselves, renovated ourselves, and
which was fun to watch, by the way. Watching all this.
Oh my god, it wasn't fun to live.
No, but having her brush, do the actual the sanding and layering it, and the one time when she messed up with the stain, I watched those videos. hey, remember, I'm just not 9 out of 10. I or 8 out of 9 on your little questionnaire. I've watched.
Yeah. So I guess I've been doing this now for 9 years. So I guess you could say I kind of know what I'm doing.
That's good. Gotta learn though, right? For sure. It takes time.
Yeah. It takes time, experience, and you have to go through all the hurdles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So so I guess first off is what are a couple of key things that you want to look at when you're actually picking a real estate agent? What? Because I know why I would come to you, because watching some of the videos and stuff like that, you become invested, right?
Right.
But what are some ways that you get someone, like you said, someone just left you a card?
Yep.
To sort of become a part of that. Now, how do you leave your card to get the actual transaction overall? Like, how do you get a?
Well, if you're trying to pick a realtor that fits you, I my best advice for anyone who is interviewing a realtor, it depends, right? Because if you're buying a house, selling a house, and investing are three very different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're trying to buy a house, if you're looking for an agent that's the right fit for you, I would say that the agent should be knowledgeable in their market. So like for instance, like I sell in Halifax and I sell within an hour outside Halifax. And the reason why I do that is because I know those markets. I know the Valley, I know the South Shore, I know Halifax, I know Truro. That is my market. I'm never going to go sell a house in Cape Breton because I've actually, like, believe it or not, I did have a client years ago try and get me to New Glasgow, and I did it, and I went, and I didn't know I didn't know how they negotiated. I didn't know what the market statistics were like. I didn't know the market. So, like, the first thing I would say is if you're interviewing someone and you want to live in an area, like, make sure they understand what's happening in the market.
Okay.
Like, that's the first thing. Make sure they understand what's the average days on market. How many price reductions are happening in your market? What is the market condition? Is it in a buyer's market, a seller's market, a balanced market? What's the inventory? Because that will dictate everything. So, like, being market knowledgeable would be the first thing. The second thing is how they advise you. So, for instance, like, if your buyer's agent can't walk you front, backwards, and back to the start of how to buy a house, like, you're already lost. Like, that should be everything to you. If you're listing the house, if you're trying to sell your house, knowing your market, of course, is your best thing, but also the package. So, like, one thing that people fall short on is putting together the actual package and how to sell someone's house. And what I mean by that is essentially, like, every seller is the same. I've yet to have a seller. Every seller wants to sell their house in the shortest amount of time for the highest dollar value.
Of course.
It's never not changed. And I've never been able to be like, no, I'd like this to take a year. Yeah. So if you're trying to get an agent in to sell your house, like, I would say you can always ask them what their sales data is for the last year. If they sold 1 listing, 5 listings, 10 listings. Like, for instance, we sold 12 listings last year. Our average days on market was 15.
That's
so, like, we beat HRM by 42 days for average days on market. Yeah. And our list to sale price average was 98%. So if we sold for $100, we got you $98.
Yeah.
Right. And I can tell you, like, just on my listing package for Beezer, if I'm ever listing your house, like, I do this with every client where, like, I'll give you 3 price points. Cause, like, here's the truth. You'll talk to a lot of knowledgeable agents, and you also find a lot of other not knowledgeable agents. Correct. If you ever get a realtor trying to tell you that they know what's going to happen in 6 months, they're full of shit. Right. There's no way since COVID that you know what's going to happen in 6 months.
Hard to predict. Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's two, like, Trump, Iran. You didn't see that one coming.
No.
Right.
So, like, if you have anyone trying to tell you that they know what's going to happen in 6 months, they're crazy. So, like, when I sell houses now, like, I'll sit down with a client in October, we're listing in the spring. I'm not going to deliver a price point till a week or 2 weeks before we go to market, and I'm going to give them a ballpark. So the ballpark is what I think the highest dollar value is, which everyone goes for. What I think we should list for number, and then the lowest dollar value, which is giving away. So, like, I've done that for a few years now. Everyone goes highest just because, of course, that's most money for their asset. But I always say if we don't have an offer within a week to 2 weeks, we're bringing it down to what I think it should be at. Right. So, like, if you even go by that metric, which I did for a lot of listings last year, like, actually our days on market would be at 1 to 7. So, like, we do get our pricing pretty well. And that's just a really good indicator of understanding the market, understanding how to price a home. Mm-hmm. One thing I always say, if a realtor ever promises you a number that you think is amazing, because, like, you get this all the time if you're interviewing multiple agents. Yeah. I may have a number, and I may give you a market report, which if you're not getting a market report and they're not going through a market report with you, don't hire that agent. But maybe my market report is $400,000, and maybe the agent after me goes, well, you can sell for $550,000. Tell them, and this is my advice to anyone, if you ever have an agent telling you they can sell the moon for your house, that's great. Put it in the contract that they are not allowed to reduce the price and that is a 3-month contract, and just watch the blood drain from their face.
Right.
Because most agents, we are in the sales industry. If you know anything about Nova Scotia statistics, like we have about 2,000 agents in the province now. 83% are part-time, meaning they sell under 4 transactions a year. The average agent sells 64 transactions a year. So the higher enders are above 6 and up, and they're 20% of the industry does 80% of the work. So you do get a lot of people who may be desperate for a sale or need a sale to keep the lights on, and they may promise you a price that they can't deliver. If you don't agree with the number, you think it's unrealistic, just hold them to it and watch them try and bite back against that number. Like for instance, if you gave me that number, here we don't want a price adjust, you're not bringing the price down, we want this sold, I'd give you the low number and be like, I can get rid of it. Yeah, that would be my number. If I can't pull the lever, because once you go to market when you're selling, you've got 3 levers that you can sell houses with: price, condition, location. You can't change location. No. Condition sucks to change, and you have to get off the market to change it. So realtors have price, which is why you see it all the time where a seller will change agents, and the one thing the agent does is drop it by $100,000, and then it sells because that's just what the lever is. So it's like pricing is like your most important thing. So if you're selling your house, that would be my thing. And also strategy. We say, like, for us, when we're getting a listing ready for market, the most important thing for us is the prep. Because as soon as you go to market, that's your first impression. You better be sorted. That preparation. We had a client last year who I can't say for certain, but at the time we interviewed him, house was a mess in South End Halifax, which is the highest price point in Halifax. And he said, I want the most money out of I can get out of this thing. What do you think it's worth? I said, you're probably scratching $1 million, but I think I can get $1.2 million out of this. But you need to listen to everything we're saying, and you're going to be throwing a lot of money at this. I think he invested $42,000 to get the place ready. We sold it in a day for $1.25 million.
Wow.
Because that's quick. That's what I was going to talk about, is how can you get some of that high value out by not spending too much? Because again, I watch a lot of your podcasts, your Instagram, which are fantastic little tips and tricks, which is the reason why we wanted to network and bring you on. About again, you can touch on what are some key spots that people like to look at when buying a house and where to it, and like you said, off-white. Is it golden color to pick? Right?
I saw that.
If you're selling a house, there's 3 things that you just off the bat: declutter, and by declutter is a buyer doesn't want to see anything of you in their house. You want them to. So
having a pod sit out front is.
Don't put the pod out front. Put it out back in the release. We need curb appeal.
Fair. Okay. Put it at your mom and dad's or
put that pod. Keep that away from the house. We need curb appeal. But
put it at the neighbor's house.
Something on
Give
the
him
street.
A case of beer. It's all good.
There.
Fair.
You essentially decluttering is the art of decluttering, and staging is the art of letting the buyers fill your space with their furniture. As soon as you hear a buyer say, "Oh, my couch goes here, my TV goes there," you're like, "Okay, we're writing an offer." You see yourself living here. Cleaning, people. Everyone has a different definition of clean. Just get it professionally cleaned. Spend the $300-400.
Yeah,
just
worth it.
Paint. It sucks. Everyone hates it. I hate painting.
A lot of work.
But it's if you paint the color is white. The color is White Dove from Benjamin Moore. Paint your walls, your trim. That paint, a neutral tone. No one wants to paint neutral. It's not. It doesn't pull. It's not polarizing. It makes rooms look brighter and more and larger, and it makes everything look clean. It's it's a fresh canvas.
Clutter, doesn't look so cluttered either.
There's no clutter, so you really let the room show. Those are the 3 simplest ways to maximize your return and to maximize your home value without doing any major renovations or anything like that. That's the simplest, quickest way. It takes time. That's why we always say it takes a few months to get a house ready for market. Because if you're going to undertake painting, you're painting, and we're making you paint every room. Don't paint 1 room or 2 rooms. Do the job, paint the house. And if you really want to go the extra mile, paint the walls white dove and paint all the trim, the window trim, the baseboards and all that stuff. Paint them actual eggshell white so that the trim pops off the off white. That's if you want to go the extra mile in your anal nut bag. It just has a dramatic impact for buyers.
I can see that. I can see that.
Right.
So not the man cave, you're saying? Not
no,
the man cave?
if I'm selling a man cave, it's all coming down.
Take down all the Montreal Canadian stuff, Mike. Right?
Oh yeah. Hey, what happens if the
defend a buyer.
Beezer house stays at Shade Beezer? You know,
Right?
so,
unless you're bringing in an open house of Montreal Canadian fans, like just get rid of it because we're like if you're selling a house, I always say this: you're selling a product.
Yeah.
yes,
That's it. That's it.
that's good. That's good birds to live by, right there.
It's not your house anymore. If you're choosing to move and sell your house, like it's a product. So we are selling, and to get a great sale on a good product to appeal for the most people. So just treat it like a product. You no longer live in it, and pack up. We're getting you out.
Yeah.
So
get as much stuff out as you can, paint it a neutral color, and think about it as a product, basically, right? It's not
Absolutely.
and try to make sure you get the maximum return with the minimum invest.
Right.
So that,
where sellers make the biggest mistakes are they don't prep their house so it's not clean. And by clean, like I just mean like buyers are fickle. Honestly, they're fickle. You can scare away a buy. Like people now, average home price is $600,000 in Halifax. Like you're asking someone to spend $600,000
That's right.
on your house.
It's a big investment.
Like they don't want to see dings in the wall. They don't want to see scratches on the floor. Then like everything that's wrong with your house, they're just taking off your price because they don't want to. Like most people don't want to do work. Most people aren't sociopaths like my wife and I are. Of like, let's gut a house. Like most people just want to turn the key, unpack, and move in. And most sellers do a disservice to themselves because they don't get the house ready and they overprice. Usually is what happens. And then we come in, we'll course correct. We're like, take it off the market for 90 to 120 days so that we can course correct and get this thing sold properly and maybe save you guys a little bit more money.
Yeah, that was something I was going to ask you. If a house is on the market too long, that's like a red flag, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't. Days on market's cancer. Just picture like you start off with like day one is one cancer cell, and just every day just add more and more cells. Because like if you see if you see a house on the market for 200 days, what do you think? What's
wrong?
What's going on? Why isn't it selling?
Why isn't it selling?
Yeah, why isn't it selling? It's almost a year. Yeah,
and you might think, oh, I like it. It's nice. It like that seems reasonable price, but why isn't it selling?
There's the little needle in the haystack somewhere is there. Which comes up to again something you do talk about. One of the key things is looking before you sell a house is to get the home inspection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. It is because that almost it shows to the buyer that there's nothing that you're there to hide,
right? And
they can have their own. Well, you can touch more on it, but that gives me the confidence overall.
There's two ways to look at that. We do a pre-inspection for every house that we sell. That goes for twofold. One, when you're getting a house if you're selling a house and we're selling the house, our whole view is make it the easiest path possible for a buyer to buy your house. Like just make it as easy as get all the utilities up front, get the disclosure statements up front, get them the tax bill, as much information you can get them it. And then we do a pre-inspection that we give to the buyers. But the other thing we do it for is so that way we can get ahead of stuff because something may come up in it. Because when I was early in my career and we didn't do pre-inspections for sellers, and you would have a buyer do an inspection, and you knew like let's say it's a Saturday from 1 to 4 because that's how long a typical home inspection is. It's 3 hours. I would be at home with so much anxiety, being like, "It's 2. I haven't heard anything yet. Have they found anything? Did I miss something?" And then finally you get the 3:30 text of like, or you wait. Like I've had some agents hold it for a week and then drop a list of like 25 grand worth of material that needs to be replaced, but they purposely waited till the last second so that they could hold me to a barrel in negotiations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you do get that playoff. So what we decided was do the pre-inspection, either fix it before we go to market, which is the seller's choice, or disclose it and just get it out of the way. And that way, and I've had this happen where we sell a house, having it under contract, buyer does their inspection and they come back with this shit list. And I'll highlight I'll send a screenshot of the email from the agent being like, we have received a buyer has reviewed inspection. And I go, okay, well, pages 61, 42, subsection D, this is all disclosed.
Yeah.
You knew this. Why are you bugging me? You acknowledge you read it. You acknowledge you received it. You wrote the offer you wrote. So I'm not negotiating as this was up front. So like we also use it as a tool to protect our price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
No, it does. So
what's one of the most like common things someone asks you when they're buying a house, like as a real estate agent? What do you hear the most? And then what's another question that people don't ask, but you think they should?
The most common question when buying a house, I mean, this is the most common question ever, is how's the market? It's the most common question.
Am I going to make money here? Hell.
Yeah. When someone's buying a house, usually the most common thing is mostly going to be along the lines of like, do you see anything wrong with the house? It's, as we're in it,
right?
Do you see any red flags? Do you see something that we don't? Is this too good to be true? Or nowadays, with the market being the market that it is are we going to get what we want for our price?
Mm-hmm.
Are we? How competitive is the market? Can we find something in our dollar amount that makes sense for us? Or how far out of the city do we have to go? It's more necessary of like, does this make sense for us when we're trying to make a move as a family to buy a new house? So that's always the biggest concern. The most uncommon question right now, I would say that people should ask. We're hammering it home right now. We just did a whole podcast on it. It's actually accelerating your mortgage payments. So we did a clip.
Speed it up.
Yeah, we did a clip. I've put out a lot of content for the last month on socials, and we've been kind of just tracking the content, seeing what works and seeing what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a clip on for $600,000 house. Or if you lived in it for the whole 25-year amortization, you would pay $349,000 in interest. So it's actually $949,000 purchase if you paid the interest over the course of that amortization.
Right, basically $1 million. Yeah,
basically $1 million. And we looked at that, and that clip we did, it's got over 10,000 views across a few platforms. So it really hit more than we ever thought it would. So I called the broker and was like, I think we should do an episode on this. Like this just should be a topic.
Yeah.
So we just did, it comes out next week, but essentially like we figured out how to take off 10 years off your amortization. Like simple. Like if you were to buy a house today, and before you even on day one of your new mortgage, if you were to do accelerated payments, so it's like, say your monthly mortgage payments $1,300, and so you go bi-weekly $650, and then you add $25 and $25 on each payment. 3 years wiped off your amortization just from that.
Yeah, just
from that.
It adds up. Yeah,
and that's the $25 goes directly on principal.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not. It immediately wipes out 3 years, brings you down to 22, and then you can get into the more complicated stuff. So like then there's like that program called 10 over 10 or 15 over 15, where like on the 1 year anniversary, you can increase your payments by 10%.
Yeah.
If you increase, so like $650 payment, 10% is $65. So it's an extra $130 a month that goes directly on principal.
Wow.
So now you're taking off another 2 to 3 years. And then you can do 10 over 10. You can repeat it every year. Always 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. And then you've got the other one where like you can also do if you come up with a lump sum some way, maybe inheritance, maybe sell a car, something like that, and you come in a large sum of money. You can also do a large lump, depending on what bank you're with, you can do a large lump sum down. So we figured out a way to get that amortization down to 15, 16, 17 years. One trick is everyone's renewing their mortgages right now. If you're comfortable with the payment and the rates you're probably going to get a lower rate. And instead of, let's say the payment's $1,500, the rate's lower, they give you $1,000 a month. Keep the payment at $1,300 if you're comfortable with it. And the rest goes on principal. Just take the rate, so you're paying less interest, but then the more lump sum goes on your principal, which then pays down your interest.
Right.
So that's an area where I can promise you that no one thinks of.
I bet.
No one. no one I know, and so that's just something that, and that's I've only learned about this stuff in the last week because we recorded that on Thursday.
That's pretty fascinating to actually learn, right? So
Yeah.
Right. And like you said, that's a few beer over a course of a couple of weeks. Like
it's a reasonable amount of money, right?
Like,
you know that. Yeah.
When you think about $349,000 of interest, like it just hurts.
It's a lot.
yeah.
It's
You
just
might
like,
not realize that at first,
No.
right? If you look at it.
no. We did an episode called like home ownership versus renting, and like we kind of cashed it. We kind of did the math on it, and like the gimmick of home ownership being this great thing, like it is for all the benefits of home ownership. But if you look at its cost versus cost, it's renting. Honestly, it's renting.
Right. Just cost alone. Yeah.
Just cost. If you look, like, you don't look at the benefits of like appreciation, equity, what an asset you can loan against the bank, like take away all that stuff and look at money to money. You can literally make a good argument for rent. Instead, it's better. Like that's easy. And that's how we came up with that number, was we were just looking at like, what's the cost versus cost method? And like people make the mistake of like, they look at their home that they live in as an investment because it goes up in value, but that doesn't include the maintenance, the upkeep. You know what I mean? Of what
the hidden things that like that's like one thing I wanted to talk about is a couple things to look at when you're buying a house that you maybe end up
regretting,
spending a lot of money on that you don't see, like looking at the deck, looking at the roof, like those are two big ones that when you are looking at buying a house, because I know when my ex and I, when we were looking at buying a house and my dad came out, he's like, look at the roof, son. He goes, you got to put another 20,000 on there. I'm like, say what? He goes, well, look at the deck. Well, the cost of wood's going up. There's another 15,000. I'm like, all right, so now we're up to like 35, 40,000. That's like, and then almost, so we actually end up being those interesting people, and we actually built from scratch and got lucky, right? Because we're like, if we're gonna do this, we lucked out in a beautiful spot in Tantallon there, and it pretty much was about an extra 10,000 more than buying, and then having those hidden fees that we would have been. I don't know. So like something like that.
All adds up.
So 2 points. Beezer, when did you buy that house?
A long time ago.
Okay, so the cost
I'm old.
No, that's not the point I'm making. Is back then, like the cost of a brand new build and the cost of a resale were actually pretty similar.
Yes.
Like I remember like before COVID, like I had clients buy brand new builds. Just in Spryfield.
It's like 2011, 2011.
Right. So like the cost of back then of a brand new build, like you could argue like, why would I buy something that needs a new roof, a deck, or new kitchen when I can go next door for like an extra 10 grand and get a brand new build with my layouts and my customizations.
Essentially, that's what it was. And then we got to go through the actual build and we actually ended up, instead of being in a Beachville, Timberley area, we went to Tantallon, a little bit further out, but we ended up with six acres.
So in that counter, that's not the market anymore. First time home buyers don't have that option.
Yeah.
So talk about like what's the cost of becoming down payments now? I heard that's on a rise versus.
Well, I'm going to answer the first question. So what buyers should look for?
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's okay. The hardest thing about buying a home is people don't fall in love with like the essentials. Like no one's gonna be like, oh my God, this house has such a great roof. Let's buy it. Like it's not a conversation they'll have.
Yeah.
Or like the windows, like, you know what I mean? Like people fall in love with floor plans, layouts, locations, kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms, backyards, all the good stuff we all love.
Yeah.
The way we do it is like first find the home you love that you want to buy and then dissect the shit out of it. So we'll have a checklist of like exterior, and we're not a home inspector, but we know enough to be like, okay, roof, rising shingles, looks like they're coming in to life, maybe they're coming away. Okay, cool. Do you have any idea of when the roof was done? Oh, it was done 12 years ago. Okay, so 8 years of life left. Get an inspector up there. He'll probably tell you 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's negotiable. If you really want to find out if a roof is working or not, check the attic. Because if a roof's leaking, you'll know in the attic. Simple enough.
All right. Okay.
Windows, are they vinyl? Are they old wood? Are they the old storm panels? And like the next thing is like, how many windows? What's the size of them? Well, if they're all pretty meaty size, like for instance, we have big windows in my house. We had to do 9 new windows. It cost us $12,000. That was just to get the windows to the house.
Yeah.
That wasn't even to install them. So like that can be. We always say like exterior first. We have a checklist of what we'll go through with the client, and then we'll move on to inside of like, you know, flooring, cabinets, countertops, paint. And then the real question becomes realistically, because we are still in a seller's market, realistically, what can we negotiate on? Realistically, like like the days of when bees are bought of like, oh, I don't like the floor scratched, I didn't want $2,000 off. Like that's not a thing. You can't do that anymore. We always have to look at like realistically, like, okay, you can talk about a roof, you can talk about windows, you can talk about like a heating system, like maybe that the furnace is old. You can talk about the stuff that functions in the house, but cosmetics are out. Don't even try. Unless the house has been on the market for 300 days, don't try for cosmetics. But we just try and protect the client as best we can. We get a home inspection to see what we can do. That's it. And if the client waives inspection, we make them sign a waiver because I'm not getting yelled at in 2 years because you waived inspection. Like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. No.
What was your next question, Beezer?
No, like honestly, like this is so like I'm learning lots here. But we are trying to keep it to a certain time.
Yeah.
Crunch, which means a lot with the Only Dads Network.
Yeah.
Which we talk about the 33 minutes. We're really trying to keep around there because there's a lot of meaning there. So we'd love to invite you back to continue this because again, like this has been eye opening, and hopefully next time we're gonna be able to get you can sell Dev on how to move back home here.
There you go.
mean,
right?
Halifax should sell itself.
It does. Well, he's already been here, right? So they're from here.
Absolutely.
So,
love Halifax.
but so if you want to almost take a minute there, talk about your website, how people find you.
Yeah.
Like plug yourself here, right? So
there's no website. I gave out websites. I didn't like them. Honestly, I never found they worked for me.
Yeah.
If you want to find us, we're big on social media. It's at Jason Paul Halifax Realtor, at the Halifax Real Estate Podcast, and at the Infinity Real Estate Group, which is the team that I run with my wife. That's where the best place to find us is. Also, if you ever want to get a hold of me, don't email me. I hate emails. Text me. Text me for the love of God.
Text.
Yeah, I hate. I check my email once a day. I hate that thing.
Right on.
or what about your wife? Does she like emails or?
I have no idea. I've never.
You don't know? No idea. Just text. All right.
Text her, so I don't know.
No, but again, I know you're busy. You got the kid there too. We all got the kids. We're all dads here. So appreciate your time this evening.
My dog's calling time too.
Yeah, like he's like time's up, right? So no, we appreciate it. We learned a few things. Hopefully, the listeners out there have as well, and we look forward to Jason Paul Part 2 coming up in probably a month or two.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Only Dads Network.